up, people? My name's Timmy Joe, making videos about illegally downloading Metallica's Black Album.
Our team of lawyers and researchers have your names, and we're gonna hunt you down like the table scrap pilfering grab asses you are.
Grab asses, bad!
On the internet, or, you know, any copyrighted, pirated content you might be torrenting or whatever, because I wanted to find out what's going on with this. Why aren't people getting in trouble with it? Can you get in trouble with it? Who knows what you're doing on the internet? And how can you protect yourself? So Privacy VPN stepped in and they said, Timmy Joe, you just hit 100,000 subscribers. We're going to give you the video to talk about it and give your audience some codes to save on our services, which is awfully nice of them to make me do an advertisement and then you get to save. Chill. Yeah, well, no, but I wanted to actually look into this, and we're doing it through one of their ads, so it's kind of cool. So thanks to Privacy for sponsoring the video. If you want to get protected, I'll give you lots of reasons throughout the video why you'd want to, and then I'll give you some codes at the end of the video, or if you're savvy enough, you can just go down to the description and probably get them yourself. But anyways, let's talk about it. So, what is going on? Are torrents illegal? Updated by country in 2019. And, a lot of stuff going on here. Canada, South America, Romania, Czech Republic. Downloading copyright content is overlooked. Kind of seems like it where I live. The most I get is a strongly worded letter. And then in countries that shut down torrenting sites, US, Russia, China, Australia. And what they mean by that is they might go and actually shut down the Pirate Bay like the US does that, or shut down, like, legitimately, like, try and bring down these websites. And other countries just straight up block them because the freedom on the internet, like in China, is not as good. So if you live in one of these countries, a VPN is probably a necessity for sure. And then apparently in like Spain and Poland, and, you know, they're downloading copyrighted content is permitted for personal use. Interesting. And then in the orange ones, Germany, Great Britain, Finland, you can be fined. But when I get into it, you know, go check out some Reddit sites and stuff like that, I don't see that there's a whole lot of that happening. Although there's definitely a lot of recounting of you being throttled if you're doing this type of thing. So they know, you know, the types of, you know, internet traffic that torrenting is, and they limit that bandwidth. So it goes really slow. So a good option might be a VPN, like Privacy. So you go and use a VPN and they don't know what you're doing. And that's just a good idea in general, because if you're doing stuff like this, you're legitimately stealing content, and seeding it is actually distributing it as well. And eventually someone's going to get wise to it and someone's going to start, you know, really cracking down on this. It's just probably a good idea to check it out. But I've been trying to find, you know, legitimate, you know, like names of people that are being prosecuted for it. And if I'm honest, it's hard to find it. Like apparently in Australia, internet pirates to be sued, and this was in 2017, but I couldn't really find an update to this story. Same thing in Canada, torrent of lawsuits coming to illegal downloaders. I think a lot of this is propaganda to scare, you know, people. You know, they say they're going to do stuff, but it involves like actually breaking through the freedoms the internet offers. So maybe in the EU, where Article 13 just passed, you're probably going to want a VPN anyways, because you're going to, they're really cracking down on the copyright stuff. So maybe the Privacy is just a good one. Good to go check it out. See here, a Minnesota woman needed to pay a $220,000 fine for downloading 24 illegally downloaded songs on torrents. Interesting. Leonard French here, the internet copyright lawyer, he recounts a tale of a man being, fined $241,000 for downloading 5 songs through BitTorrents, or whatever. Maybe it wasn't songs, but you know what actually happened? It would have been a couple $1,000s worth of fines, but the guy was subpoenaed to give up his hard drive, and he encrypted it and did all this fuzzy, funny stuff, and they figured it out. That's why the guy's sentence or fine was, tripled or quadrupled or whatever, up to this $241,000 thing. So, yeah, a little bit of a tale there, but this is from 2016. And then I went on Reddit and actually found people of Reddit who have been prosecuted for illegally downloading movies and what happened. A lot of, like, my grandma got a letter and was asked to pay this money, and then she did. A lot of people saying that they were threatened to be kicked off their ISPs, so they switched ISPs. But if I'm honest, a lot of this was kind of plebby stuff. It was like, people weren't really, savvy enough to get around the stuff. So definitely a VPN is a good idea if you want to be avoiding this kinds of stuff. So, what's going on here? I actually went to another site, Lifehacker here, and what does my internet service provider see when I'm downloading torrents? And why, am I getting these letters saying that HBO figured out I was doing stuff? Well, they actually go into great depths here and say your ISP sees that you're using BitTorrent and might throttle your connection. But if you're getting these letters, more than likely it's actually that the media companies are torrenting the torrents themselves, and by seeding them, you can actually get a lot of information as to who is downloading this stuff. So HBO is literally paying a service or invested in a service that torrents their own stuff, ironically enough, just so they can find out who's downloading the torrents so that they can send those letters to your ISP to try and scare you away from downloading their stuff. But not a lot of stuff comes from that. But at the same time, HBO knows what you're doing. So it's probably a good idea to get a VPN so that you can avoid them even knowing it was you in the first place. Because if you're using a VPN, they're going to see some, service in, Latvia or USA or, Russia or wherever you're using the service, wherever you're tunneling through. And that way they can't go back to your ISP. They don't know who your ISP is. If it's, your IP coming from your house, they can figure it out pretty easy. So there is a really good reason to grab a VPN service. And if I'm honest, you will, because you're adding a new road and a new connection by using a VPN, you are going to see a degradation in how fast things download it. But you know what? It's not that bad. I actually own the movie Castaway. Here's a picture of me owning it, because I forgot to bring it in here. But, and here's me downloading it with Ivacy, and, so if I own it, I'm downloading a backup, okay? So don't try and sue me for Castaway. I own the damn Blu-ray.
Wilson! I'm sorry!
Anyways, I'm still downloading at like 6 megabytes a second. So it goes pretty fast, 6 to 8 megabytes a second. So it's actually not as bad as you'd think, especially if you try a few connections if you're not getting a solid one. So it's a good idea to use a VPN. So I went to my subscribers and I asked you guys, I wanted to, see, or serious question, does anyone know anyone who's been prosecuted or sued or kicked off their ISP? A lot of people were saying no, definitely not. Never heard of this happening. But we have the proof that, HBO is watching, that your ISP knows what you're doing. So it's only a matter of time before, net neutrality ends up making it possible to get sued. So instead of being on these lists where you're using these services, maybe it's a good idea to grab a VPN and protect yourself. And I'll give you another reason that you might want to use a VPN, because you might be able to circumvent the whole BitTorrenting thing altogether, because there's all kinds of viruses and stuff on there. You never know what's going on when you're torrenting. Let's say you want to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You haven't watched it, it's a funny show, and you go and you check it out, and then you actually need to be, like, in the States, subscribed to some NBC or CBS or whatever subscription service. You actually probably have to have cable to go watch the back catalog of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But you can go on this website here that I found, unogs.com, and you can type in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there we go, and search, and it comes up with, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on Netflix, and you can get it in all these countries, which is pretty interesting. So you can go and, use the VPN, tunnel into Canada, and then load up Netflix, and you'll be able to watch the whole back catalog of Brooklyn Nine-Nine without even touching a torrent. And this is a pretty interesting website. You can go on here and search for anything, movies and all that. So before you torrent, maybe use the VPN service to circumvent it this way. That way you're not actually it's a gray area, the whole VPN thing. Netflix tried to stop it, and it's hard to stop. So it's not really illegally downloading, sort of. So that's another way you can do it anyways. So that brings us to the part where I try and sell you on the ad. Because it's 100,000 subscribers, guys. So Ivacy is being nice, and they're giving us 20% off of basically all their plans, except for the 1-month one. So we already know about 2Y privacy, and that gets you 20% off of the 2-year plan. But if you want to save on the 1-year plan, because you're a little bit cheaper, and you want to just do the 1-year thing, Well, they gave me a new code. It's 1YR Privacy. And that's what it is, right? Yes, 1YR Privacy. I don't know why there's an R in there, but yeah, you can save 20% on the 1-year plan, so it ends up being like $30-some for a year. Or let's say you want to go for the whole kit and caboodle and have a VPN for life. Well, you can only get it for 5 years, but it's called the lifetime plan, and that's $133 a month, billed for $80 one time. But with the code lifetime20 at checkout, they're all in the description, by the way, so don't go by what I'm saying. I put it on the screen probably too. You can, save 20% and pay $60 to get a 5-year lifetime plan with Privacy. And so you can just always have because there's tons of reasons to do a VPN. There's, the safety on public Wi-Fi. Put it on your Android phone. You're at the mall. You want to make sure no one's stealing your nudes. You can go that way. Or like I showed you, you can go check out what's on Netflix. And then I gave you a website, I'll leave it in the description, where you can see what shows are playing in certain countries. So you can check it out that way. Or you want to just basically protect yourself on your own internet or hide what you're doing from your ISP. That's a great reason as well. Tons of reasons to check out Privacy VPN. So I want to thank them for sponsoring the video. And they have a money-back guarantee, refund policy. 30-day money-back guarantee. You don't like it? Just email them. They'll figure it out. They'll give you your money back. So there's always that as well. So, that's why I dig into Privacy, because they're really inexpensive service. They're helping the channel out. And, torrenting, you're not going to get in a lot of trouble for it right now. But you never know when that's going to change. And they can certainly tell what you're doing while you're doing it. So why not use a VPN service to try and circumvent all that? And browse Netflix from another, country if the show's available or movie's available that way. Or if you're really going to do the whole piracy thing, make sure your ISP can't tell what you're doing. Or make sure HBO can't tell what IP address is coming directly from your home while you're doing it. Because it's just a good idea, guys. It's just a good idea. So I'm not watching Joe Instagram and Twitter. Yes, this is a new set. Yes, 100,000 subscribers. Yay! We got all kinds of awesome content coming up. I've been kind of preparing. I wanted to make a change for season 2 of, I don't know, it's way past season 2 at this point, for past 100,000 subscribers. So look forward to a little new studio tour / videos coming up. I definitely am going to redo the Fury Nano because it's coming in the mail like tomorrow. And I want to make my own case out of sheet metal or maybe wood, computer case. Oh, they got a whole bunch of things coming up. Hey, a 3D printer will help me build the case. That's coming for review. A lot of cool stuff. So check it out later. But yeah, Privacy VPN. Links are in the description. Thank you very much for sponsoring the video. Thank you for watching me shill it out for an advertisement. But yeah, Privacy VPN, torrenting. You've got all the information now. I'll let you decide. Go to the comments below and tell me what you think. I'll see you guys later.